Long ago, in the green valleys of Mbali, people lived in peace. They farmed the land, fetched water from the river, and sang around the fire at night. Children laughed, birds sang, and animals roamed freely. But everything changed in 1 week. It began with the goats. Old Mama Feza was the first to see it. One morning she went outside her hut to feed her goats, but what she found made her scream. All 4 of her goats were lying on the ground. Their eyes were wide open, but they were not breathing. There were no cuts, no wounds, no sound of struggle. They just died. She whispered. The villagers came running. They gathered around. The dead goats, confused and afraid. The chief Mz Baraka looked closely. "This is strange," he said. "Something is not right." The next day, 5 cows died from another house. The day after that, someone's chickens were found still and cold. Every morning brought more dead animals. No one saw anything. No one heard anything. But then one boy saw something. His name was Tuma, a thin, brave boy who loved to climb trees. One night, when everyone was asleep, he stayed awake, hiding in a mango tree near the animal shed. What he saw that night made his heart almost stop. A giant white snake, longer than a tree, wider than a man's chest, slithered out from behind the bushes. It moved silently, like a ghost. Its eyes were yellow and glowing. Its body was smooth and shiny, like white cloth under the moonlight. Tuma held his breath. The snake moved around the cows, opened its mouth, but did not bite. It only hissed. A strange mist came out of its mouth and covered the animals. Within seconds, they fell dead. Tuma almost screamed, but he covered his mouth with his hand. He climbed down quietly and ran to the chief's hut. "There's a white snake," he shouted. "It killed the cows with its breath." The chief Mz Baraka sat up in shock. "A white snake in Mbali? That is no ordinary animal." In the morning, the elders were called. The elders speak of the past tender, the big baobab tree. The elders sat in a circle. Their faces were hard. Their eyes were filled with memory. Elder Shafi, the oldest among them, spoke slowly. "A long time ago, there was a place beneath Kuyani Hill. They called it the Snake Kingdom. The white snakes lived there in peace. A greedy king tried to steal their eggs for gold. The snakes rose in anger and cursed the land. But we sealed that kingdom," Elder Juma added. "Our ancestors closed the caves with fire, salt, and prayer. No snake was ever seen again, till now. So why are they back?" Someone asked. No one had the answer. But the white snake kept coming. Every night, animals died. Dogs stopped barking. Cats refused to come out. Even birds flew far from the trees. A strange silence covered the village. Fear in the air. People began locking their doors before sunset. Fires were lit all around, but it didn't stop the snake. Then the unthinkable happened. 3 children went missing. Their names were Mala, Keto, and Zua. They had gone to the river to fetch water, but they never returned. Their buckets were found near the old well. Snake tracks, long and winding, were all over the place. The mothers cried. The fathers screamed. The village fell into deep fear. "What do we do now?" The people asked. "Do we leave Mbali?" Some packed their bags. Others wanted to fight, but no one knew how. The chief looked tired. His hands shook. "I am old," he said, "and I don't know how to fight snakes." That was when Mama Tamu stood up. Mama Tamu's voice. Mama Tamu was nearly 90 years old. Her hair was white. Back was bent, but her voice still had fire. She walked to the center of the village square with a wooden stick and shouted, "If we leave, we lose everything. If we run, this snake will chase us forever." People turned to her. She looked weak, but her words were strong. "These snakes are not just animals," she said. "They are spirits. They came from a place we forgot, a place our hearts no longer respect." "What do you mean?" a young man asked. "We stopped praying to the land. We stopped thanking the river. We hurt the forest. We took too much and gave nothing back. Now the white snake returns, not just for food, but to teach us." There was silence. She lifted her stick and pointed to Kuyani Hill. "If we want to stop this, someone must go there. Someone must face the Snake Kingdom." One girl steps forward. Everyone looked at each other. No one moved. No one wanted to go near that hill. But then a voice spoke. "I will go." It was Nia, a 17-year-old girl. Her father was a hunter, her mother a healer. She had eyes like the night, sky deep and strong. "You?" Someone laughed. "You are just a girl." "I may be small," Nia said, "but my heart is not." The chief stepped forward. "Do you understand what you're saying, child?" "I do," Nia replied. "The snake took my baby brother. I will not sleep until he is found. I will climb Kuyani Hill and face the white snake." Mama Temu nodded. "Then let the spirits guide you." The next morning, before the sun rose, Nia prepared. She wore a leather belt, tied her mother's herbs in a pouch, and carried a small gourd of river water. Mama Temu gave her a small flute made of bone. "This will protect you," she said, "but only if you believe." Kaya said goodbye to her family to the village and walked alone toward Kuyani Hill. As she walked, the sky turned gray. The birds flew low. A strange wind blew from the trees. But Nia did not stop. She passed the river, crossed the fields, and climbed the path to the hill. With each step, she felt something watching her. And then we saw it. A white stone door, half covered by vines. Snake carvings were on the rocks. The air smelled strange, like old smoke and bitter herbs. She touched the stone. It moved. The door opened slowly, into darkness. Nia took a deep breath, held her pouch close, and stepped inside. Nia stood at the entrance of the snake's cave. The stone door behind her closed with a heavy thud. Darkness surrounded her. The air was cold. The ground was wet and smelled of old bones. She held her pouch close. Inside it were the herbs from her mother and the bone flute from Mama Tamu. Her heart was beating fast, but she did not turn back. She walked forward. The path was narrow and curved like a snake's body. Strange whispers came from the walls. Shadows moved without sound. Then she saw the light dot. It came from deep inside the cave, a green, glowing light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Nia followed it. The snake spirit's speak sheet reached a wide room inside the hill. There were stones shaped like thrones. Carvings of snakes covered the walls. In the center was a pool of green water. It bubbled, but there was no heat. Suddenly, the water rose, and from it came the shape of a giant white snake, with golden eyes and a crown of smoke. "Why are you here, child of Imbali?" the snake hissed. Its voice was deep and echoed in the cave. "I have come for the children," Nia said, "and for the truth." The snake circled her slowly. "We took nothing that was not already lost. The village forgot us. They forgot the old ways. The land cried. The river dried. The forest was cut. So we returned to remind them." "Ah, you are hurting innocent people," Nia said. "Killing animals, taking children. This is not the way to teach." The snake stared at her. "Then what is the way?" Nia did not answer right away. She reached into her pouch and pulled out the bone flute. This flute was made from the bone of the first snake that protected this land, she said. "It carries peace, not fear." She closed her eyes and blew the flute. The sound was soft, like wind through trees. It was slow, like river water. It filled the cave like sunlight. Whitesnake stopped moving. Its eyes blinked. The walls shimmered. Suddenly, the stone around the pool cracked open, and out came the missing children, Mala, Kito, and Zua. They were alive, but sleepy. They walked toward Nia with tears in their eyes. The white snake lowered its head. "You carry the voice of truth," it said. "You came with courage, not with fire. You came with music, not with hate." Other white snakes appeared from the dark corners of the cave. Small ones, old ones, glowing ones. They all bowed their heads. "We will go back," the king snake said. "We will sleep once more, but only if your people remember us." "Will," Naya said. "I will remind them." Lariturnia walked out of the cave with the 3 children. Soon as they stepped outside, the clouds opened. Sunlight broke through the gray sky. Birds began to sing again. The wind became soft. She looked back. The stone door closed slowly behind them. Carvings on it began to glow softly, then faded. The Snake Kingdom had returned to sleep. The village rejoices. When Naya reached the village, people ran to her. Mothers cried. Fathers shouted with joy. The chief came forward with open arms. "You did what no warrior could do," Mzbaraka said. "You brought back our children. You brought back our peace." Mama Tammuz smiled, her eyes full of tears. "The girl became the voice," she said, "the voice of the land." The villagers danced through the night. They lit fires of joy, not fear. They sang songs of Nia and the white snake. For the first time in many days, there was laughter again. The change after that day, the village changed. The people began to plant more trees. They stopped cutting the forest without blessing it first. They thanked the river every morning with prayers and offerings. They cleaned the land. They respected the animals. And once a month, they gathered at the foot of Kuyani Hill. They sat under the moonlight and played the bone flute, singing songs of peace. Naya became a guide for the people. Not a chief, not a queen, but a keeper of the story. She told the children about the Snake Kingdom not to scare them, but to remind them. Fear grows when we forget. Peace comes when we remember. Final scene. Many years later, years passed. Naya grew older, her hair turned silver like the moon. She had children and her children had children. One evening, she sat under the same baobab tree where the elders once gathered. A group of young children sat around her. "Tell us the story again," they begged. She smiled and began. "There was once a white snake who brought fear. But one girl walked into the dark with nothing but truth, a flute and love for her land." The children listened with wide eyes. The wind blew softly. A white feather floated down and landed on Nia's shoulder. She looked up at Kuyani Hill in the distance, and for a moment she thought she saw golden eyes watching from the trees. But she wasn't afraid. She only smiled. When we hurt the land, fear returns. But when we respect the land, peace follows. Unity, courage, and remembrance protect more than weapons ever will.